The biggest enemy of any trader? His own mind. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of markets and make impulsive decisions based on emotions rather than logic. But if you want to be a successful trader, you must be able to stay calm, focused, and disciplined in the face of volatility and uncertainty. Hey there, Tamir from FIBONACCI'S.com here with the daily market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and without any further ado, let's see the charts. Someone somewhere always knows something. Is it true? Tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Time, we will know. SPY closing at the high of the day. Can we get continuation towards 437 together with this yellow trend line? 430 to the downside is the support. Below it, we are going to fill the gap at the 422. Very volatile week ahead of us. Tomorrow CPI, then we have PPI, FOMC decision on Thursday. Keep your stop loss very tight. We are going for a roller coaster ride. QQQs breaking up and above, closing at the high of the day. 357 to the downside now needs to hold. Otherwise, we are going. CPI numbers will come out and the market will like what they see. We are going 376 in my opinion. And then we are going 407 new all-time highs. But for now, let's see where we're heading. Hedge funds, looks like they're starting to close their short positions. Someone always knows something. Keep that in mind. Dow Jones, 3 consecutive days. Continuation above this red trend line. We have been following and waiting for a break above this red trend line for several months already. Now, next resistance will be the 343, 345 to the upside. This red trend line together with the 337 needs to hold. IWM, 4 consecutive days between the 184 to the downside, 188 to the upside. All comes down to tomorrow's CPI numbers. Good CPI numbers. If the market will like the CPI numbers, in my opinion, we are heading towards the 200s on the IWM. Not tomorrow, of course, but in the coming days. Don't be surprised if you will see the 200. SMH. Once again, towards this yellow trend line. You know this trend line and you know these levels because you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos. If you're not following me on Twitter yet, take 1 second, hit the follow button and like, subscribe if you like what you see. To get more videos like this one, hit the notification bell. We also have the Fibonacci-Traders Academy playlist. 23 videos, educational videos, technical side, psychology side, the psychology behind trading. Each video gets you closer to become a successful, consistent trader. SOXX, same thing as the SMH. 503 to the upside. We do have here double top scenario, but for now, it's too early to say. Breaking up and above, in my opinion, 582 is next. 478 needs to hold, otherwise 460 gap will get filled, and we are going retesting the 447, and of course everything depends on the CPI numbers. VIX, you know this white trend line. We drew this white trend line several weeks ago and we said that if the VIX will break to the downside below 16, it's going towards this trend line, and here we are bouncing off this trend line. Now let's see where VIX is heading. 1620 to the upside. Now from support will become resistance. Ethereum breaking below the 1790. Now 17 needs to hold. 1790 from support will become a very tough resistance. Short continuation below the 17 towards 1600s and all the way towards 1500s. For now, Ethereum and cryptos doesn't look good. Trend lines are the true support resistance for price action and are also the roadmap for future price action. We drew these lines several weeks ago, and we have been following these lines. To the downside, this red trend line holds the lower lows, this white trend line holds the lower highs, and we have now the yellow trend line holding as support in the past few days or so. Now let's see, below this yellow trend line we are going towards sliding, continue sliding on this red trend line. Apple, last 1 point from all-time highs. Once again, Apple closing high of the day, very bullish day on Apple, and if Apple is bullish, the rest of the market is bullish. Let's see where and how the market and Apple will take the CPI numbers. Good CPI numbers, we are going towards 190 and 194. Bad reaction, we are going to fill this gap at the 175. Gaps are meant to be closed, meant to be filled. More than 80% of them will get filled throughout time. Microsoft, for example, this gap, in my opinion, will not get filled anytime soon, but we do have here the gap at the 316. Bad reaction, and this gap will get filled. Otherwise, we are going towards this purple trend line together with the 343 and 350 to the upside. Tesla 250 holding strong resistance. We do have here this gap at the 235. It needs to get filled, but it's Tesla. Anything can happen on Tesla. Doesn't matter CPI, FOMC, everything doesn't concern Tesla. Tesla has its own mind and its own life. Above 250, we are going to fill the gap at the 262. Bad reaction, we are going towards 235 and 225 to the downside. AMD 130 to the upside, once again resistance. Doji, good reaction, we are going to the 150s. Bad reaction, this gap and the 118 will need to hold, otherwise we are going to fill the gap at the 109. Nvidia basically moving sideways, as we can see, since May 25th. 372 to the downside is holding, sideways move. This green trend line from resistance, now holding a support. Now, if you want to know where Nvidia might be heading next, long continuation above today's highs towards 420. Bad reaction to the CPI. This green trend line needs to hold, otherwise we are going towards 368, 353, and maybe all the way towards 306, but 306 is pretty far already. 22%, pretty far. Let's see. All we have to do, follow price, listen to price, and use levels and trend lines as our guide for future price action and support and resistance. Netflix 417 is holding together with this red trend line, from resistance now becoming support. Good reaction to the CPI numbers, we are going towards this red trend line and the 450. Bad reaction, this gap will get filled at the 409 and then 394 to the downside. It's only technical analysis, it's not rocket science. Don't overcomplicate it. You have price action, you have trend lines to help you where price came from, and with high probability where price might be heading next. Take Amazon for example. You have this lower yellow trend line that helps you identify the higher lows since May. You have this yellow trend line to help you identify the higher highs since May. you have a bigger time frame. Red trend line to the upside, red trend line to the downside. This red trend line helps you to identify the higher lows since January. You have this red trend line to help you identify the higher highs since December of 2022. Follow the trend lines as your roadmap for future price action, and as long as Amazon's price is holding above this yellow trend line, we are in an uptrend, a very steep uptrend. Next resistance, this red trend line. Above this red trend line, no need to guess, you have this yellow trend line. Stop following any other indicators. All indicators are, without exceptions, they are all lagging. Educate yourself to become your own indicator. 128 to the upside, yellow trend line. 121 to the downside is our guide for future price action. Check the links in the description below if you want to become your own indicator, if you want to stop relying on anyone else on Twitter, YouTube, Discord, WhatsApp to tell you what to do. Tell yourself what to do. Check the links in the description below. We have 60 minutes crash course, perfect start. Then we have the Fibonacci online program. We have the one-on-one live mentorship, lifetime access for the online program, for the one-on-one live mentorship. Both programs, lifetime access, 24/7, almost 24/7. Guide, support, all the tools that you need to become your own indicator. Google 121 holding support. What will happen if the 121 will fail to hold? No need to guess. We have Fibonacci 118, long continuation above 126, 127 to the upside, where Google might be heading next, above 133.60. That's it. It's not rocket science. With the proper education, everybody can learn technical analysis. Look left, where price came from, where it might be heading next. We have Fibonacci, we have trend lines, we have gaps. But when it comes to trading, it's a different story. Not all great technical analysis are good traders. When it comes to trading, your mind plays tricks on you. You need to know your mental side, the psychology behind trading. This is something we work on very thoroughly on the Fibonacci-Traders online program and, of course, on the one-on-one mentorship. We put much focus on the psychology behind trading on each and every student. Check the links in the description below. Meta moving sideways since end of May, 257 to the downside, 276 to the upside. Meta is in an uptrend until proven otherwise. Shopify, once again, 65.50 to the upside. Tough resistance, 62.80 needs to hold. Long continuation above towards this blue trend line. Bad reaction, and we will see Shopify going way down towards this blue trend line and maybe closing the gap at the 48. All we have to do is sit tight and wait until 8:30 Eastern time tomorrow to see the reaction of the market for the CPI numbers. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, will be much appreciated. Don't forget to check the links in the description below for more educational resources. Until the next video, stay safe.